All right, guys, we're live. Welcome back to another episode of the Female POV, TFPOV, back with Spencer and TC and your host, Moth, yours truly, with some new ladies, one lady, one woman who just can't get enough of these Monday night shows. So Caroline is back for like the third time in a few weeks, which that might be a record. I think three might be the record. If you come on one more, then we might just have to promote you to full-time co-host. But ladies, thanks for joining this evening. You know, the spiel, we talked a little bit about this backstage, so we'll just go in the same kind of order. Caroline, we'll start with you, not to take anything away from you. So your name, your age, where you're from, what you do, and your current relationship status. Take it away.
Alrighty, I'm Caroline McConnell. I am 26 years old. I am from New Jersey. I work in commercial pest control sales. I also model, content create, and teach at a college. And I am single and somewhere in that strange talking stage we all know and love.
Not quite a situationship, but not quite single.
Yeah.
No man's land, essentially. All right, cool. Celine, on to you.
I'm Celine. I'm 47 from Virginia. I'm the deputy director for the audit team with the Department of War, and I am single as it gets and navigating this new world. Very, very new into dating.
How new are we talking?
Oh, just started maybe a year ago.
And were you married before, in a long-term relationship before?
No, I wasn't. I had my son and just focused on raising him until he was about 8 years old and realized he had more of a social life than I did. So I decided it was time, see what I liked.
And son were you married to his father? Was this
I was not.
a relationship you were in?
It was a very quick relationship.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Dolly, on to you.
Hi, my name's Dolly. I'm 32 years old. I am also based in Virginia. I am a small salon owner. I do content creation, and I'm branching off into product sales on the internet to other beauty professionals. And I am currently married for the third time.
And Alexis, round us off.
Hi. I'm Alexis. I am 31 and I'm out of Olympia, Washington. My dating life is going to be 9 years. We are a little bit open. I have a girlfriend on the side also. We've been together for about 6 years. I sell rare plants and I'm also a content creator.
Lot to unpack tonight here, y'all. But as you guys know, if you're first time watching the show, you don't know this. If you do, you already know it. But before we go live, I like to ask the ladies backstage maybe to give some dating advice for men, or maybe give their hot take on dating. So there's one thing I wanted to start with, which is, now I can't choose. Actually, let's start with Dolly. So your hot take or your advice was women need to hold firm, know who they are / know what they want before they commit, before they get into relationships with guys. My guess is you're talking a little bit from personal experience here, but why don't you kind of enlighten us and talk a little bit more about what you mean?
So I began my kind of dating like everybody else did in high school. Ended up being very forcefully pushed into marrying at 17 by my mother. And you have no idea who you are when you are 17. You have no idea who you are until you're 25, essentially, when your brain starts to fully develop and form. And I just, through reflecting, have looked back and realized that we would have never worked ever, even if we attempted to stay together, because neither one of us knew who we were when we got married. And we continuously changed until we got divorced when I was 21 and after 2 kids. Same thing with my second marriage. Got married pretty quickly, kind of out of survival and kind of out of a big push from him. I don't like saying it, but he was pretty manipulative. And I've got the data to back that up. But I was really young too. I was about 23 when we got married, didn't know who the hell I was because I had just gotten out of a marriage with my children's father and an abusive situation with my family. And I had to learn who I was through that marriage. And again, just didn't know how to navigate that. Ended up getting a divorce. And I had to really take that time and sit with myself and figure out who the fuck I was by myself, what my boundaries were, what I needed in order to be healthy enough in my own head to really be able to give myself into a relationship.
How do you know when you know who you are?
I feel like I knew who I was when I was sitting at a table across from a man who was spouting crazy shit, and I didn't want to sit there anymore. And I very politely got up and said, this isn't for me. And I left. And when I didn't feel like I had to be polite or sit there and do things that I didn't want to do anymore, I was like, this is it. This is who I am.
But what advice, if somebody was asking you, how will I know when I know who I am? And if your response is like, well, this is my personal experience, like, because we talked about, because this was your advice, you're saying like women, you need to figure out who you are. But if somebody's like, well, how the hell do I do that? What does that look like?
I think you know who you are when you can sit there and you can tell someone what you want from your life and what you like to do. And you don't feel like you have to agree with someone for them to like you.
Can you do that at any age, at any point, in any time in your life, though?
I don't think so.
Like, you don't think that, like, you want something different at 20, maybe, like, you wanted something different at 20 that you want at 25, that you want at 32, that you want at 40, that you might want at 50? Celine's nodding her head, yes. What I'm trying to get is, it's like, this comes up a lot about like the frontal lobe and like full development. And then the argument can be this. It's like, well, if you don't know who you are and you're 23 or 25 or 30, or if you don't know who you are and you're in like, why should you be allowed to vote? Like, why should you be allowed to run a business? Why should you be allowed to go to school and take out like $300,000 student loans? Like, why should you be able to rent a car or buy a house? Like, why, like, if people don't know who they are at a, like, if it's this ever moving goalpost of, and it's never really a complete equation, then it's like, what's the answer to that?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer for it right now.
That's fair.
I can say I was really...
I can't hear Dahlia.
Oh.
I can hear it fine.
Refresh. If you can hear me, please refresh and then join back in.
I'd say I felt a lot more insecure back then. I'd say later in life, closer to 30, I felt a lot secure with who I was. So it could just be a personal experience for me. It most certainly is not like a solid, everybody's going to have this experience, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt, there were a lot of insecurities and I didn't know who I was until later, until I was given that space to figure it out by myself.
Is there anything in your now third marriage, that maybe you, like an opinion that you held that you no longer have because of something your husband said or influenced you in some way? Or is there maybe an example of a hobby or an interest or a vocation that maybe you didn't care about or care to know about before, but now you do care about it, or it's a belief that you hold or an interest that you have? Like, is there any examples you can think of that?
Yes, actually. It was kind of a slap in the face moment for me. And I don't want to call it an argument, but we were just having a disagreement. We weren't quite seeing eye to eye. And I tend to like to take the reins and just kind of do things. I've always just kind of, well, no one else is going to do it, so I have to do it. And he just kind of very firmly was like, you need to realize that I'm also a person in this relationship. We're both adults. We both feel things a certain way. You feel things differently than I feel things differently. That doesn't mean that it has to be this huge argument every single time, but I need to learn how to communicate better. And I need to understand how he communicates, and he needed to understand how I communicate for our relationship to work. And I was just kind of pushed me down.
That's not quite what I'm looking for. What I mean is like, that's an opportunity. That's an example of you all saying like, hey, this is what I need from you. This is what I need from, this is like a communication or like I'm talking more about like, you didn't give a shit about XYZ sport or activity, and then you met him and now you love it. Or you didn't think this way politically and now you do. Like, is there any examples of that, or are you pretty like set with who you are?
Like weightlifting and bodybuilding is definitely something I did not give a fuck about before I met him. And I'm definitely not into it to the extent that he is. But I do go to the gym at least now.
Still something
what do you
that
think
picked
sparked
up
that
from
change?
him.
I'm sorry, you guys were talking at the same time. I didn't quite.
I was asking, what do you think sparked that change?
I just saw how happy it made him. It was something, it's not just going to the gym for him. It's a hobby. He likes to do a lot of research. He likes to count macros. He likes to create my program. I think it's one of his love languages. making sure that I'm taking care of myself. And he does it for his buddies too. But just seeing how passionate he was about it and about just the lifestyle in general. And I was like, I can try this. That's fine.
Okay. We're going to come back to that, but I want to get to, let's go to Alexis next, because you dropped a bomb that I cannot keep the audience waiting on. 9-year open relationship. And I think to clarify for the audience, it is open on one side and that side is your side.
It is.
How the hell did you pull that off?
So we've been together for 9 years. We started out like the nightclub life. He was like the DJ, and then I'd come into the nightclub, he'd buy me a drink, then he'd disappear. I low-key didn't even know like who he was until I realized he was the DJ on the stage I was dancing to. And we had both gone through a breakup, and we got really close as friends, like hung out and started being hella close, started dating. Had a couple indiscrepancies as I was working 3 jobs at the time, and he was in the nightlife and had his peeps and like all the girls screaming for him while he was DJing. So our youth was more of indiscrepancies on his part, and we've worked really hard to get back from that. But he allows me my freedom with like mostly women, and it kind of just
Mostly.
like mostly women. Yeah, I haven't gone through the boundary cross of going to that way. He's pretty set on no dick shall ever go inside me. So don't think I'll be crossing that
Fair
street
enough.
anytime soon. But I do content creation and stuff, and he's not too he's not too worried about me being on OnlyFans and like telling you to suck your dick, or like, you know what I mean? Telling God knows who's gonna pay for the platform to do whatever for the content preferences. But I do have my beautiful girlfriend that he let me start seeing 6 years ago, because he's a software architect now, and all he does is like work constantly, like 24 fucking 7. And let's be real, 24/7 does not make me happy in any sexual way or mental way. So we go half and half with that. I get to see her half the time, and then I'm like, we live together, so I'm with him. But I get most of my excitement out of having both of them.
So like the nature of your girl relationship is just sexual. It's not like any provision or anything like that. It's like you guys just hook, like you guys are just like dating in that way. Like, does she contribute financially to anything? Like
We
how does that
we go
work?
on dates. No, she's definitely like my significant other. She's definitely a spouse with me. We go on dates together. We literally like we pay for anything together. We like if she needs money, or if I need money, or if she needs gas in her car, I put gas in her car. If I need whatever, it's very, very significantly like vice versa. It's definitely a relationship, but I wouldn't say a hookup. It's been going on for 6 years, and we do birthdays together and holidays and everything.
So who like gets more of your time? Like, I mean, is
I
there
mean,
never an issue of like who gets who for Christmas, who gets who on what times? It sounds like
no, she'd come over
you're the
here.
child of divorce. Like
Oh,
they have
no,
to do
it's
50-50
no,
custody of you.
not at all. We don't do 50-50 anything. It's honestly so really refreshing, because my relationship is so like platonic through like communication, and he's such a passive and understanding person that like confrontation between either is not like it's not a thing. It comes with like if she wants to see me, I'll go up there and I'll spend like the night or like the weekend with her. If me and him want to go on date nights, we go on date nights. We live together, so I see him the majority of the time. We go to bed together. We do pretty much whatever
Yeah, but you just
together.
said he's always at work. So like, which is
Well,
it?
he works from home. He works in
Okay.
his office from home. So I see him, when I wake up and we do breakfast together. I like make breakfast. Most of my like exotic, like crazy date nights I spend with her, just because she's more of a very fluid, like
He's
extroverted
vanilla.
person. He's very vanilla. He's very
Wow.
vanilla. But we love him
I
so
mean,
much.
that's kind of
He's
where I
such a
thought we
good
might be
man.
going
But
on this.
wow, I mean, once you have a girl, like when we first started dating, I'm gonna blow your mind. I don't know if I'm supposed to be like
I
censored
doubt
or
it.
whatever. Okay, so first, me and her first started dating, and I was like, okay, this can't be different. And then the like emotional capacity of it is significantly different. Let me tell you, a PMSing woman that you're dating, I understand now. I fucking get it. Like I fucking understand. But like the extravagantness with her is like she's not vanilla. And the first thing she did was like put an ice cube in my ass, and I was like, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I was like, we're keeping her. And we've pretty much been together ever since. And I came home to him with like even more excitement. So it even spices our love life up because I'm like, yo, get a fucking ice cube.
TC.
I want to
try
hear.
that.
So your girlfriend has a man, right?
Yeah. They've been together
I
for
wanna
6 years
hear-
also.
I want to hear about that side of it, right? So like you're hanging out with her. Does she live with her man?
So our houses are pretty large. We all have like I have a spare bedroom. She has a spare bedroom. She has it set up as her bedroom. He has his own bedroom.
Because like this all sounds cool to me, but like there's too many men. Right? This sounds like sister wives and everything's great, but then there's like a man on both sides instead of just one man. I'm very confused about that.
Our houses both are double layered. So like upstairs has several like multiple bedrooms that are spare bedrooms. So one of those bedrooms is like our bedroom, and then me and him have our bedroom, like our main bedroom downstairs. And then at her house, he has his own bedroom and she has her own bedroom.
So like is her man kind of like yours? Was like busy just to go have fun, or is
he did come into it a little late because me and her had already been seeing each other like years before and like modeling and stuff together, and then her ex was like did not care, was platonic, and then they broke up, and then her new one got to know me, so still here.
This guy, I thought when you met him, he was like the man. Like DJ, you said he was running around with a bunch of chicks. Like what happened? Like you cut his balls off? What happened?
How do you go from DJ to vanilla?
When you stop drinking, you know, the excitement and the you stops being you sometimes, especially when it becomes a problem. So the freakiness went away when the alcohol went away, which is where the club went when he became a software architect.
Gotcha.
He grew up. We grew up.
So your girlfriend or your girl spouse, whatever you call
my
it.
girlfriend.
Her man, is it open for him?
Oh fuck no. Our both no. La princesa. Just us. I mean, if they want to go out and fuck a guy, I'm totally for it. Like honestly,
isn't that not fair though? Like,
well, no, in my head, I would love to bring a
That
girl
won't
home.
happen.
That's not fair. Why isn't that fair? Like, why are we doing
I'm all
fairness?
about being fair. I'm all about being fair. I'm
That's
all
not
for
fair,
bringing a girl. Well, I'm all for bringing a girl home. He just won't do it because of past indiscrepancies in our relationship.
No,
that
I'm not talking about bringing a girl home. Like, he wants to go out and get some strange. Like, you don't bring him into your girlfriend thing. Like, why does he have to play with you two? Well, I'm just saying, like,
I tried.
you date and sleep around separately from him. Like, why can't he do the same thing?
I mean, if he wanted to, he could. He just doesn't want to. It's not hurt my feelings.
So if he said, I want to go step out and like bang this chick, you'd be cool with it? Yeah,
I'd be like, can I join?
No, you can't. It's just me and her. Are you still cool with it? Like, that's what I'm asking.
I mean, can I watch?
No, you're not involved. You don't get to be there or anything. This has nothing to do with you.
I don't
Stay
know,
at
maybe.
home.
Just
Cook.
thinking about it like mentally, I'd probably be like, what the fuck? But in the end count, I'd be like, I gotta do it, so it's only fair. I like him realism, so like if it's fair for me, it's fair for you.
I think you're super real
in
ways maybe some viewers and some other people don't see. So I've got one more question about this situation. So let's say rewind to when you and your girlfriend were like early on, maybe like the first year or two before she got her current man, and your man was like, "This is awesome. Let's make it a throuple." Would that have been something you would have been down with?
I get to have both of them in the same house? Are you fucking serious? That's like heaven. I'd be so happy. But that won't happen.
I think she's been asking for this, right? And he's basically said no.
For years I've been like, it's okay. But like it's a mentality thing when you go from, you know, you mess up and then you realize you've messed up. And then now in his head, he's like, I don't want to like even cross a boundary, which I completely respect as a person. So that's kind of just where it's been for the last several years.
This is my last question, actually, because I'm going to get to Celine because you've been very patient. But like your guy, what does he have male friends? Does he have like buddies that he does shit with, like hangs out with?
He has some.
Not like bar buddies, like dudes that
No, he doesn't go to the bar.
he'll go like baseball, whatever the fuck. Like I'm talking about, will he go and grab a backpack and like go camping in the woods for 5 days with these guys with no cell phone? So like what
He's a
extent are
software
those
architect.
friendships? I know, but I'm trying. I guess what I'm trying to ask, I don't know if I'm being clear. Like, what is the depth of those relationships? Like, would he say these guys, I would die for these guys, or like these are just acquaintances and casual guys? Okay,
No,
I'm not using
his
I'm not using the
BS.
woods thing literally. I'm trying to get a grasp on the depth.
No. He runs LD, so light designs and stuff, and his brother is the owner and like lead producer for it. They are together a lot. Our friends come over here and they he redesigns things. He builds web pages for our friends that he's like really close with. A couple of our friends have like stayed with us because he's like really close with them, and we gave them a free room to stay in for a little bit.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what do these guys think of him or of this relationship? Like, do they give him shit, or they're just like, it's cool?
They don't fucking care. It's none of their business. We're a lot of our like people around us like are like more mature to where like overthinking somebody else's like relationship is exhausting. There's like a billion other fucking things going on right now. Like looks like Iran and fucking shit just got bombed. So like it's the last thing any of our friends really care about. They're more mature than that. Now, if I was to ask like the younger children, they'd probably be like, what the actual fuck? But not our friends.
Well, how old is this guy? Because you're what, 31?
He's 35.
Okay, I'm 34. I would care. But anyway, on to the next. Celine, you've been very patient. You are back into the. You got something?
I'm just very curious.
We got to move on, though. We can't keep going on this. We're 22 minutes in. Let's just.
But I'm very curious why this guy. Maybe I missed it, but why you've suggested bringing another girl home and this guy says no to it? Because I'm like sure every guy I know would say yes.
So if you think of it in like the aspect of like back in the day, like, you know, he fucked around, he got caught, he got in trouble, he felt horrible about it. It kind of drilled into his head. So now when I like have brought it up, or like I've been in a hot tub with a girlfriend, and I was like, we were fucking around and he was in the hot tub with us. And I was like trying to get him to join, and he goes, I need water. And he just got out and got water. And I was like, what the fuck? And the next day he elaborated, you know, honestly, like to me, I've seen you be upset in that instance, and I don't ever want to see you do that again. Give it been 5 years different, but he just feels that I would get upset, or he doesn't want to see
specifically with you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I think
is this guy the leader in your relationship, or are you a pants wearer?
Do you really have to fucking ask that question? I'm the pants wearer. I'm Lexi.
That's about what I thought. We'll come back to that too. We got to keep spreading it around.
I can see that.
Celine, you're back in the dating pool for the first time in a very long time. So let's just talk about that. Like, what's been your experience so far? I mean, you say you're single, but you're dating. I mean, you said your problem with guys is that they're trying to move forward too fast. Like they're going from 0 to 100. Like, what do you mean by that?
It's not even that they're trying to move forward. It is literally from you're so beautiful to showing me a picture of your member. You know, so it's just, I'm not necessarily used to that. I don't even want to use the term back in the day, but maybe so. Before I had my son, when I dated, it just wasn't that way. You know, we were just hot and drinking and wild and having fun, and everybody liked everybody, and it just kind of flowed. Now everything's online, you know, which is the easiest way to meet people. And I'm not personally on any dating sites, but through Facebook, I've had many men DM me. And it does start out very innocent, you know, where I feel like they're trying to ask for a date, you know, and a lot of them I might even be hesitant, but then they'll still continue to talk me into the idea of it. And the very, you know, next comment out of their mouth is, you know, can you handle 8 inches?
Do you have an aversion to dating apps? Like, is there a reason you're not on them?
It's not that I have an aversion. It's that I've done it. I don't really see the value in it. For me personally, if I'm looking at a picture of a guy, I am not 9 out of 10 times, I'm not going to find him attractive. I think visually I'm very picky. So I'm swiping left on everybody. By the time I get to the end of the apps, there's no guys. And I'm sitting there going, wow, I'm just going to wait, I guess, you know, till tomorrow. They upload some new ones that are from, you know, 10 states away. So I got pretty sick of that quick. And I just feel like, even though I don't have a lot of time, again, I'm a single mom and I have a young son. So I'm not going to go out and party every weekend. But I do think there is value in the personal, like seeing somebody in person, speaking to them and getting to know them. So I much would rather go out with my cousin, grab a couple beers for a happy hour and talk to a guy at the bar and figure out if there's something going on than to get on freaking Tinder and you lie to me about all the things you wish that you could be and that you have and then I find out in the end that that's not the truth and I'm not even attracted to you anyway.
Why date at all? Like, what's the goal, Celine? I mean, I'm looking here, like I'm looking at, good government job, probably make a good living. You've got
Yeah.
a son, like, I mean, what exactly are we looking for?
Super
and why?
easy. I mean, I'm looking for fun. I mean, I'm looking for someone to make my life exciting, right? I travel a lot. I do make a lot of money. I have a great job. I own a home. I have a pool, and I do lots of wonderful things. But I think at the end of the day, it's that person that I can go to talk about my day or to go, try to make me a better person. Like I'm always trying to grow. I don't think that at 40, whatever, that life ends. I know that I'm constantly trying to be better. And I do think the opposite sex can help and aid in that, manufacturing of this new me, who it is that I'm becoming. And, I want to have fun and I want to laugh and I want to feel in love and I want to feel sexy and those things yeah, I can have them for about 5 minutes at home with myself and be just great. But at the end of the day, I want to have the dating experience. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But the end game for me is to be with somebody that ultimately wants to spend his life with me.
Okay. So, like, what kind of guy does that look like for you? How old is he? What's he do? Does he have kids? I mean,
I can't put
paint
an
the
age on
picture
it.
for us.
I can't put an age on it just from experience. I've had guys, I don't think I would even consider somebody in their 20s. That's the truth. So I guess there is an age, from 30s to almost below 60, just a little bit. It would be a man that's motivated in his own way. He doesn't need me to cheer him on to be motivated. He's already found what makes him happy in life. He's moving towards that goal and being better every single day. He's also romantic and caring and attentive and nurturing in all the ways that I am as well. So it's a 50-50 take in life, and moving forward. And he sees the bigger picture of a future, not just tonight.
But like, what is I mean, like, okay. I mean, no, that makes
Oh,
sense.
crap.
No, it's okay.
I got to log out and log back in because I
Oh
lost
my
you.
goodness. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, guys. It seems like there's some setting where people keep losing sound or something like that. We'll come back. I got to keep that question top of mind. My goodness. Let's see. What do we got here? Caroline, we talked to you before the show. You mentioned communication. You said you kind of maybe thought you wanted to hear from the ladies in terms of maybe if this is for the men, like, hey, men, if you're watching this, maybe you should learn how when we communicate. Why don't you give us like a crash course? Why don't you tell us exactly what we need to know?
Sure. So I think
I'm back.
women a lot of times think we're being a lot more straightforward than we really are. I think
Oh, no, it's me now.
we can kind of speak a little bit in cryptic, thinking that we're being super direct. So I think it's like an active effort on both parties. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of like decoding to kind of try and understand what someone might be getting at in pieces. And as women, I think, again, like sometimes we can be a little bit more direct. I do think some of that might be just a little bit like societal, where I think a lot of women feel emotions in a different way than maybe men do and are sometimes more willing to be forthcoming with them. And on the flip side of that, they also might feel a little bit of pressure not to be so forthcoming with them. And in that causes a little bit of that communication, like headbutting, where they're kind of fighting what they want to say. So they end up not exactly saying that. And then it leaves, it's like a Rubik's Cube to, for a man to sit over there and decode. Do any of the other ladies kind of
Yeah, please.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I very frequently have the discussion with my husband that unexplained expectations will always lead to resentment in your relationships. And I think us as women just kind of expect the people around us to have the same expectations that we have, and that everybody's just on the same page and we're all just vibing, and that's really not the case. I think it's hard for us to just kind of flat out say what we want, but I do believe that's a killer in a lot of relationships and friendships, and it doesn't matter if it's romantic or platonic or with your friends or your family. We just got to kind of just learn to say what we want.
I feel like I
Same.
went through that too. Definitely. Like there was a time in my life that I felt like I couldn't say or speak exactly what it is that I wanted because it meant more if he said it first. But I think at this age and with the experience that I've had, I'm not scared to say what it is that I want. And I'm also not scared to end things if it's a waste of time. So a lot of guys don't understand when I'm very quick to say, this doesn't work. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And they're still asking questions going, wait a minute, but you don't know this and you don't know that. I already know what I need to know. It's pretty simple. Like you're not ready. You're not where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And it's okay. We don't have to be on the same page. But maybe it's that you feel like you're closer to death at 47 than you are when you're in your 30s. I'm not really sure. Like it takes the romanticism out of it. But I just think for me, I know what it is I have to offer and I know what it is I expect out of someone. And if they're very quickly showing me that they're not that person, I'm very quickly exiting stage right. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. So then I had a question for you before we had a little sound snafu, but I'm going to go back to it. Hopefully I can actually remember because it actually slipped my mind right there. And there she goes. Oh my God, man. This is fucking crazy.
Houdini.
Why do I pay for this fucking app? Okay.
No
Well, then
one can
let's.
stay here.
And there goes.
God damn.
What the fuck is going on?
I think StreamYard has gotten worse in quality
This is
since we
terrible,
started the
man.
show. It's like there's always audio issues now, or some camera freezing or
What in
something.
the fuck?
Nice. Okay. Hopefully Alexis is back for more than 10 seconds here. So I think the question was just about communication or like how women communicate or how we can better communicate between men and women. Do you have a particular take or experience on that?
Yeah, when it comes to communication, I feel like people want to communicate how they do it instead of how we need it done, per se. So, like, sees something's wrong, but goes about it like a different way instead of like trying to solve or trying to actually like put effort in. And I feel like we just get lost trying to do things that we feel that will help people instead of actually like doing something that will fucking help them.
So what do you mean by that? Like when we're communicating, what are we actually trying to communicate? Are we trying to solve problems? Are we trying to solve feelings? Like what is the point of communicating? What's the goal of it?
Comfortability and understanding. Just to like know that your spouse is actually like listening to you and like sees you. It takes a lot to like be seen by somebody. Like, yeah, you can be there, but like, do they see you? Do they see your emotions? Do they see, how the smell of the room changed your entire like demeanor? So when it comes like communication, I feel like even like body language is like a big for communication.
Any ladies want to chime in on that? What's the purpose? What's the goal? Yeah, please go nuts.
I used to be one of those people who'd be like, my eyebrow just switched. Why the fuck didn't you notice that I'm angry that you didn't do the dishes 10 minutes ago? And I think that's the problem. I think that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is like we just have these expectations of people where like you should have noticed that my smile dropped when you said that thing that you said, and now I'm going to be angry at you for 6 hours. Like we can't do that in relationships. It doesn't work.
Deli, can I ask you a personal question about that?
Yeah.
Do you think that that comes from, and I'm shooting out the hip here, but you kind of shared a little bit about your mother earlier. Was your mother that kind of person where you're walking on eggshells?
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, all the time. No, I will know if you clip your eyebrow or if your voice changes or the air shot. I notice that shit, and so I'm just like, why doesn't everybody else notice that? But I had to learn that not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly men that don't notice that stuff, right? Like this is what we said before the show about women and men communicate differently. In fact, they communicate in the opposite way. So, you know, and this is all based on and rooted in essentially like evolutionary psychology. Like it behooved women to be able to read between the lines, and it was a survival mechanism where they could notice these little patterns that change because that was their fight or flight kicking in. And because women generally were not the ones that were warriors and they weren't fighting, if somebody somebody snuck into your camp and was ready to fuck you up, like you're pretty much fucked, you're dead. At least a man generally has somewhat of a fighting chance. So men didn't really evolve to pick up on these sort of sixth sense or read between the lines, because it's like, whatever, if there's a confrontation, it's like me versus him, we're just going to fight. The reason I kind of bring this up and ask this is it's like, and the answers were exactly what I expected. I didn't really get a clear answer. There was a lot of like very in the abstract, like this and that. So it's like, instead of just using all of this brain power and emotional energy and all of this, like, let's sit down and have a powwow, wouldn't it be so much easier to find a guy who's just going to go out there, be killing it, and then just tells you what to do and you say yes with a smile? Isn't that better for everybody?
Yes, Daddy. No.
What's wrong with that? What's the problem with that? What's the issue?
Because you can tell me I'm a fucking good girl when you're done with it. Like, good girl.
Not if you don't earn it. No, generally, you got to earn that. No, but this is a dead serious question. Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a strong masculine leader that knows what he wants, knows how to handle his relationship, and he says, hey, this is the road we're going down. Like, I'm the driver, the passenger door is open if you want to hop in. If you don't, cool. Like, get back to hitchhiking. What's wrong with that?
I personally think that's wonderful. I have to be that person in my job all day. So I would love for somebody to tell me what to do the minute that I get home until the minute I go to sleep. Where is he? Hold on.
I'm in the
I think my door is open. Let me unlock it.
We can talk about that next, but I want to
Yes
stay on this
and
point. I
no.
want to stick on this point.
Yes and
Go ahead.
no. Yes and no. Yes. Okay, you got me all hot and bothered explaining how great that man is. But then again, if I go out and I come home at 6 a.m., how's that man gonna act? Because my ass is gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And if I come home at 6 a.m. and you're mad, then I'm gonna tell you, get the fuck over it and have a better fucking ego, because I'm just
Why
gonna
do you
what I
want to be in a
do.
relationship with a man that you don't respect and that you're
I
just
mean, I
going to walk
respect
all
my
over
man.
and make him a doormat? But you just told him like you're going to do whatever the fuck you want to do, and if he's mad about it, you could tell him to shut the fuck up. Like that doesn't sound like respect to me.
If it comes from the you can't do something, if it does not cross a line.
Do you think your husband?
Do
Do you think your live-in boyfriend would take a bullet and die for you?
Yeah.
And he doesn't get to tell you what to do? He would literally go play in traffic on your behalf, and he can't tell you not to do something?
I mean, in general, he would be like, I don't want you to do it, but he would never tell me not to do something.
Is he afraid of you? Is that why?
No, it's just it's more of like, you are your own person. Yeah, I respect him to where if he told me he like felt some type of way and we communicated it, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to do that because I have respect for him. But like, if a man's going to tell me what to do 24/7, no, that's exhausting. How, like, I barely get to think for myself in that like aspect.
Are you guys planning on having kids at all?
I can't have children, unfortunately. I'm actually raising my godchild right now. He's 15.
Between the two of you or by yourself?
Between both of us. He stays with me, and then his dad has partial custody.
How's the dad in that situation?
He's actually amounted to more than I thought he was going to. He has 6 other kids. So it has been a learning thing. We've had him for 4 years, and I've helped raise him since he was 3. So it's been a good co-parenting, actually. I've been pretty proud of him.
I think the reason that this gives me so much pause, and look, I can only take it at face value, and I can only take your word for it. I'm guessing your boy is in the chat because I think he had some nice things to say about himself to himself. But in any case, I'm not knocking it. Here's the thing that throws me for a loop. I've known hundreds, if not thousands of guys like this guy that you're with. And their story is very similar, right? Like they got a woman, they let her do whatever she wants. She walked all over him, or she made some stupid decision, or she made some mistake because he didn't lead the relationship like nature intended, like men and women have evolved to do over the last 100,000 years. And then he gets cheated on or left or divorced, no kid, like anything like that. So this is like maybe the most outlier exception to the rule thing I've ever heard. So that's why I'm kind of asking and I'm digging, a little bit deeper, because I do think that generally, like, I think you could probably agree it's sort of an unorthodox relationship. So that's why I'm kind of curious about it.
No,
So.
absolutely. I hear that from like when we first started dating, like that didn't become until like years after. And after I like started being like really public with like my girlfriend and everything, I did get that question asked like probably over like 50 times with people. He's just very like mellow headed to where he says like, oh, if he can have you, let him fucking take you and I'm done. Like I'm not gonna waste energy on it. And that's just kind of like where our relationship's been. So on the aspect
Do you
of,
think
like,
he can get other girls?
Vanilla.
Yeah, I
Can
know
he get other
can.
girls? If he walks out like tonight and said, hey, I'm gonna go pick up a chick, do you think he could do it?
Yeah, very, very much. He
Why do
does
you
it
say
on
that?
just for the fact that it unintentionally happens when we like go out in general. Like somebody always like ends up like coming up to him at the bar, like he'll be like in line grabbing a drink for us or something, and I'm just like checking out the girl, and I realize she's checking him out, and then she goes up to talk to him, and I just smile. I'm like, hi.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting. Celine, I wanted to get back to you. I know you and I were going back and forth right before you hopped off there. I had to
Sorry.
hop off because of the volume. No, it's not your fault. StreamYard. We'll get a strongly worded letter from me. So you mentioned like your end goal is you want to find that dude that's like the white picket fence, sitting on the porch, you watching the sunset. Like that's your eventual thing. Like get together, stay together. I'm kind of curious about your timeline, if you don't mind talking a little bit about that though too, because so you mentioned you just got back into dating a year ago, which would have put you at about at 46. Then you raised your son for 8 years, which put you at 38, but you've never been married before. So like there's a big gap in that history. So
Yeah.
long-term relationships, like what was kind of the deal up to then?
So my story is I've been engaged 3 times. And I wasn't ready to be married any of the 3 times. I just felt it was a lot of pressure at that time. I think my first time I was proposed to, I was 21. My second time I was 24, and my third time I was 28. And I'm still friends with all of them. They're wonderful. They've moved on. They're married. They have families. That wasn't necessarily what I was looking for, because at the time I was trying to build my life. I was focused on being the woman. Like, I am woman, hear me roar, right? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make something of myself, and it's going to be all mine. So, and I never wanted to have kids. So it just wasn't this end all be all for me. I accidentally got pregnant, and I'm glad for it. But it did change my life. It also changed who I was as a person. So my thinking before my son was quite different. I would have never been married. If I'd never had a child right now, I wouldn't even be here talking about relationships, because it wasn't even important to me. I just wanted to have fun and be my own person. But now I've had a son, the trajectory of my life, my path has changed. I don't know that there's necessarily a timeline. I'm not looking at anybody and saying, you've got 2 weeks until you show me that you can buy a ring. None of that really is super important to me, but I know that I'm not going to waste somebody else's time, because for the first time in my life, when you realize you've fully come into being the woman that you were meant to be, which has taken me my whole life to get here, I'm not going to settle for what I could have when I know what I should have, if that makes sense.
The words make sense. There's a lot to unpack there. The first thing I want to come back to is, first I had a question about why didn't it end up working out with, your kid's father and you?
So right before my son's father, I was in a relationship with someone who had been my best friend for 2 years. And then we ultimately turned that into a relationship. And to this day, that man was the love of my life. He changed everything about me. He opened me up to loving myself. Women always struggle with: are we pretty enough? Are we good enough? Are we smart enough? Is he gonna think bad about me because of this or that? And he really taught me how to love everything about myself. So I was in love with somebody else. We had ended things for all the right reasons. I was too immature at the time. I broke up with him thinking he'd chase me back. He knew I was making the right choice. So I was hanging out and I met his father, and we hung out, and he had liked me for a while, and so the attention was needed and necessary at the time for my ego. And we got very drunk, and we had one really great night. And about, I don't know, a month and a half later, I thought I had the flu, and next thing you know, I'm pregnant. And that was
And
it. I
he
mean, there was
was
nothing
out
else
of the
to do.
picture completely. But
It's
but
not
he
that he
was
was,
around. You guys were friends. It's not like this was like a random
yeah,
hookup, right? Like this
he
is a
stayed
guy that was
around.
around.
He wanted to get married, and I didn't. I didn't
Why
want to
not?
get married to somebody that I didn't love. I don't That wasn't fair to him. It wasn't fair to our unborn child, and it certainly wasn't fair to me. We had sex, we got pregnant. The consequence is we're having a baby, right? So let's just do the best we can, co-parent. I'm here to give you every minute that you need, and you can be here to give me every minute that I need. Let's do this together. I
You guys split
actually
custody?
did. He just met his father for the first time 3 weeks ago. So he told me that if I wasn't going to marry him, that he wouldn't be in my son's life. And at the time, I was hormonal, so I was like, okay, thumbs up, sure, you're really going to do that. And I moved on, right? Like, of course, nobody's going to not be with there for their child. Well, little did I know, he held true to his promise. And conveniently, at 8 months pregnant, he got another woman pregnant. So he asked her to marry him too, and they got married. And great for them. That there's nothing wrong with that.
Dude has a
But
very clear strategy.
well, his whole thing, even with me, was let's get married. I'm embarrassed because I already have another son from a previous marriage. So you're going to be my second son, second
He's been doing
woman.
this for a
Let's get
while.
married. He's got that Superman sperm, let me tell you. And if my son was here right now, you'd be like, hey, it's worth it. All women line up because I got the cream of the crop. But all in the same, I felt like that was why he wanted to get married. And I already that's not going to happen for me. So, but he couldn't at the time couldn't handle it. But I sent him text messages. I would send him pictures of my son when he played baseball, and pictures of his report cards when he'd make good grades, and different things to try to grab his attention. And finally, whatever I did, it worked. So it was actually 4 weeks ago now. He met him for the first time, and that was it. I'm hoping that he does come back around. But anyway, it was his choice. He just kind of held true to his word. If I wasn't going to get married, then he was going to be there.
So who's the most, if any, like what's the most positive male like, role model or influence that your son has like right now on him in his life?
It used to be my father. He recently passed away, very unexpectedly. But he was very much in his life for everything. And also my brother. I have a brother that's 18 months younger, and he's amazing. And he's there for him. But you know, he's a mommy's boy. So he would much prefer to be with me and even his grandma. He's just used to women and that female, love and caring and nurturing. That's where he's at. But I know you got to have that, wrestling, that smackdown, that WWE, like throw him on the ground. And I can't do that physically, but I'm open. If there's anybody that's going to sign up to do that, I might kill you, but still in the same, like, don't hurt him, but show him what it's
See,
like to be a man.
this is the trouble, right? Like this is, and I know TC is chomping at the bit. this is like the perfect representation of the crux of where I think we are, and I think why we're having such a tough time with men and women and dating and relationships in society. We have young men that are growing up that aren't being raised by their fathers on how to be men. We have women that are trying to raise young men on how to be men. And this isn't a knock at you, Celine. I know you're talking tongue
No,
in cheek,
we don't have
but
the capacity to do it. I promise.
because and when a lot of women bring up this idea of masculinity and what it actually means, it comes out. And I know you're messing around, but a lot of women think that masculinity and being a man is this caricature of need to have him in the backyard getting thrown around and having the shit kicked out of him so he knows what it's like to be a man. I know that's not what you're saying.
Right.
But that's tough. And it's like, that's why I was going to kind of ask all the ladies on the panel, like how was, and Dolly kind of said before the show what her experience was, but it's like, where was dad through all of this? Where was dad through growing up? You know, did each of you here have any sort of positive role masculine model that was a blood relative or that was a father, right? I think that we've gone so far from really stressing and understanding the importance of fathers in the household and raising kids for daughters and sons. So I'm just kind of curious what that's personal experience for each of you.
I feel super overqualified to talk about this. Allegedly, in my own personal opinion, my mother is a really awful person and she was really abusive, and she made it a career to take advantage of men to support herself her whole life. She got pregnant on purpose with my biological father. Kind of the same thing with Celine. He didn't want to deal with the crazy. He knew who she was. I haven't seen him since I was, I think,
opposite
1 year old.
tactic.
Yeah. The second man that she married, same thing. She latched on, took everything she could until he was all dried up, left him, and rinse, repeat for 2 other guys. And I had never had a consistent positive male role model in my life other than my great grandfather. And that was just kind of like in passing at Sundays at lunch. I always joke, you know, before the show backstage, you were like, oh, what was your dad? What's a dad? I always say that because I don't know what that is. And so it was the biggest smack in the face when I met my husband and I got to visually see the most consistent, like active, involved, I'm going to be there whether you like it or not, dad type person. And I see the value in that. I never saw the value in that because I always said I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need anybody to help me raise my kids or my son or anybody. I don't provide the same value to any of my children that my husband provides to them. And I can fully say that with my whole chest because women and men are fully different. I don't offer the same play, pretend play. I don't offer the same emotional regulation skills that he has because men and women do that very differently. And it's just, I see that because I didn't grow up with that.
Are your kids with him or were you with the multiple?
I have 2 baby daddies. I have my 2 oldest, and he's a great father. It's just we've got a very back and forth situation. Since my oldest was 3, she's 14 now, and so I've never seen him be a dad. He was always deployed in Afghanistan, and then we got divorced, and so I've literally never seen him be a dad, just in passing. And then I have my stepson who's 10. And then we have our youngest who's 2. So
a girl and a boy, and what's the other?
So 3 boys and a girl.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And are any of the boys not related to the girl? Blood wise?
My stepson, that's it.
Okay. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. What about the rest of you?
You said, I want to jump in.
Go ahead,
so
please.
Dolly, you said something really interesting that I think is at the core of what our issues are today. And you said, whether you like it or not, right? This is kind of what masculinity is. So like the men that your mother was running, if they had instead been like, no, this is not going to happen, whether you like it or not, do you think that would have improved the situation?
I have firsthand knowledge of someone who attempted to whether or not her, and I would prefer to not talk about it because it didn't end well. I just think she was a really bad person. And so she's probably not a great one to talk about. Yeah.
Well, we have lots, and so this is what it is, right? Like the more extreme of an example of the whether you like it or not, it like the only reaction, like the only counter reaction is going to be equally extreme, right? So like the average woman that's not like off the rails crazy, the whether you like it or not doesn't have to be as extreme, right? But like I think this is totally missing nowadays. Like men have like they're like, oh, I can't like, you know, oh, it's a woman, I can't say something, I can't do something, I need to agree with her, I need to let her do whatever she wants. And it's like, no, like we need to go back a bit.
I
And
think
I'm not
that's
saying
why
I'm not
works
saying
so
it needs
well
to be
with us now.
extreme, right?
I think that's why it works so well with us now, because he is the person who's going to be like, that's not happening. That we're going to do this. And I mean, within reason, obviously he's not telling me I can't wear what I can't wear or what I can eat or anything crazy like that. But I do let him take the lead in the relationship because he's proven that he takes the lead well, I guess, if that makes sense.
See, but why is that crazy? Sorry, go ahead. If you're going there, please go there.
Before Moff is like all these rules, whether you like it or not. I know that's coming, but I think this like also, in my belief, is sound advice for Celine, where you expressed like, yeah, maybe my son needs more of a masculine role model, but you also said like good luck to that guy, right? This is my baby. And like at a certain point, I think you need to like relinquish the reins a bit, at least to start. And be like, no, like throw his ass around, right? Like,
can he throw me around first? I mean, I need to know what this throwing
like,
around
you're
is
not
like.
going to love him if he doesn't. So, like, duh.
He's not doing that. You're not going to let him get that close to your kid.
But this is kind of the same thing, and I talk to a lot of single mothers. And this is something that like always comes up, right? Is they're looking for a man. A lot of times they're looking for help. Like life is hard. They're working 3 jobs. They're trying to raise their 3 kids. And like a good man shows up and he's like, check it out. Like you're not going to be doing this and that and this. Like your kids aren't going to be doing this. Your son's going to sit down and pay attention. And the woman's like, hell no, you're not telling my kids what to do. And so like it just immediately jettisons all the good men out of her orbit. And it's like just guys that want to bang them. That's it. Like they have no interest in being a father or being a stepfather.
I can see that. I can totally see that. I have dated somebody who told me one time when I had dinner at his house that he made his children get up from dinner and wash their own dishes. And I was like, oh, but my son does not know how to do that. How am I gonna? Oh my God! I'm gonna bring my son here. He's gonna wash his own dish. He won't even know how to freaking cut the water on, right? But in essence, that changed how I chose to then proceed with my child. I thought that's kind of embarrassing. Like he should know these things. These are fundamentals. It's not that I'm ignorant, because I'm not at all. I am willing to be taught still. I don't think that I'm perfect or that I'm doing everything right. I'm willing to put myself out there and say, you know what? It's not meant to do as one person. If it was, I could have got pregnant on my own. Many, many times, by the way. But not to be said, I'm just saying, you know, it does take another person. And I respect the idea of that person. And so, you know, in those moments that I'm finding kind of on my own, whether it's outside of my son or whether he's there in another family and I'm kind of watching them grow and change and live their life, I'm changing in those ways too, because I want to be better.
Well, I think this is what we're so missing, right? And it's on men and women's side. Where like you're over at his house with his children for dinner and his kids get up and start doing the dishes, right? Like you can see he runs his house like a man. And
what the hell?
Your initial thought is like, oh, my son wouldn't do that. Like you should be like, oh, like I love how your kids do this. My son wouldn't ever do that. and like he should be like, oh, he's gonna, right? And like you should lean into that man, but oftentimes women like knee jerk away
Why
from
don't we
that
save
man.
that
But
for later
if-
on after the kids are asleep?
if-
Like, we got to talk about the kids when they're there.
If a guy said that to you, how would you react to that?
Honestly, I'd probably be like, "Have you lost your freaking mind?"
See,
You
this is
know?
what I'm talking about.
And,
That's the
but I'm
point.
being honest, right? I'd be like,
Fair.
listen up, buddy, because he's 10 years old and doing just damn fine. And I would list all the reasons he's doing fine. And then at the end of the day, I'd end up alone, right? I think
Well, and that's what it is
right.
those
That's the
men.
sad reality of it. It really is. So I am learning to, but also in my life, I'm a boss. That is what I do. I tell people what to do.
Makes it
You know,
very
I
hard
don't
to
I don't
shut
get
it
the
off when you come
privilege of
home.
somebody telling me that this is what needs to be done today. Though I have to figure all that out, then I have to assign it, and so things run smoothly. So again, that's the household that I run, right? Which I'm not really telling my son to do too much. I'm kind of doing it all. And I realize that's the wrong thing. So I can only take past experiences and grow and learn from them. Like when I tell you that I am open and ready to find love, be in love, and have that love integrate itself into my life and my family, what that means is I'm willing to not be hard headed and stubborn in the idea that I've done everything right.
Well, and so this is kind of how we got here, I think, was we've had like at least a generation or two of when men are like, well, your son's gonna be doing the dishes, if you're gonna be with me and you're gonna be part of this family. We've had like a generation or two of women that their reaction to that is, excuse me?
Yeah.
And like that trains men to not go in that direction. Right.
Fuck
So we have
no,
like,
I'd
be like,
two
did you
or
hear
three generations of men that are just like, I don't want to tell a woman no. I don't want to say something that may offend her, because like that's negatively rewarded by women, right?
That's the key word, rewarded. You're not getting rewarded tonight because you have messed up, mister. Right. No, I totally get it. I see that. And that is total. That's every day. That's in 90 probably percent of circumstances when it comes to women, because again, we finally found our empowerment and, where we're at kind of in the same roles as men now in so many aspects and situations. And I think that we're trying to learn how to level ourselves in that power, and I feel like I'm in a place where I'm ready to allow the roles that are supposed to be. Like I don't want a feminine man. I want a man that is a man that is going to put his foot down and tell me how it's going to be. And, even if I'm going to come back to him, he's still going to hold strong. That to me is very sexy. That is what I am looking for. That is what I want. I don't want somebody to back down to me, because that's not the definition of being a man to me.
Well, yeah. So maybe like you got to find a man that meets your son. And once your son goes to bed, it's like, hey, we got to get him in jujitsu. Like he's a little pussy.
Why
And
do we
then-
have to talk about him when he goes to bed? Okay.
And then
Why can't we just be together?
And then when your reaction is like, no, I don't want him to get hurt, he doesn't like jujitsu, the man says, well, that's too bad, he's doing it. It's good for
I'll
him.
be like, okay, you know what? You're gonna get some. And yes, jujitsu it is. I'm paying. I mean, who knows? I don't know.
I'm
Alexis, go
literally
ahead.
He's in bed. We
I'm
should be
literally
wrestling.
raising like a 15-year-old right now, and he's a freshman in high school, and it's so fucking funny because he's going through like the virginity thing right now, and he called me the other night and he was so mad, and like he so when it comes to like how different like I am and how different like my relationships are and stuff, I've been helping raise this child since he was 3, and I talk to him like he's us. Like I don't talk to this child like he's child. I don't do
Yeah.
the child thing. I do the life realism. I'm 100% real all the fucking time. Like you fucked up, you fucking failing school. What the fuck? Like do fucking better. Like I put him in freaking AAU, so it's like an academy for basketball. His coach told me he wasn't being aggressive enough, so I told him not to be a fucking pussy. So like if a man can't, like even my man, like when my man like tells him like you better fucking do this, like I look at him and I say, did you fucking hear him? So like
See, but how does that
so-
work? Like,
It is-
how can this kid expect to take direction from your guy when you won't? you won't even listen to him. And then you turn
So-
around and say, pay attention to what he says. But he's like, you won't pay attention to what he says. Like,
See,
how
but
does
that's
that
the
work?
miscommunication. That's the miscommunication with you understanding the
Oh,
gist
please
of my
enlighten me.
relationship, because it's not that I don't take like direction from him. I would like gladly, if he wants to be fucking all direct that day and fucking be like, hey baby, fucking go do this, I'd be like,
Except
so,
when you come
Maxa?
home at
He
6
just- he
a.m.
just
and he's like,
doesn't
stop
do
doing
it,
it.
But
No,
if I want, if
because
I,
we've
yeah,
already
exactly.
used
There
that
you go,
example.
Spencer. There you go,
You've already
Spencer.
used
But
that.
see,
You've already said
but
that's not the reality. You said you come home at 6 a.m. and he's bitching. He can shut the fuck up.
exactly. Because I was
You're
out with
co-
my friends. It's
What do you
trust.
mean?
It's trust. It's trust. It's a trust boundary. If you trust and you know your spouse is being like good and you're not fucking doing crazy shit, like I'm not
So he
playing
can
fucking
only
Uno.
tell you what to do when it's something you want to hear, is what I'm hearing.
Oh no, if he told me no, I
Because
don't want
you
you going
said
out tonight, I'd be like, okay, like I understand. Is there a reason you don't want me going out? It's the
'Cause I
fundamental
said
of what's
so.
going on. I'd be
No,
like, why?
but like, what's the difference? What's the difference between saying I don't want you going out tonight and then saying, what the fuck? Like,
You got home at 6
why are
a.m.
you- what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not going out again because you came home at 6 a.m. Like, why listen
Okay.
to one but not the other?
I would listen to both of those if he voiced them, like Spencer said. Like if it was voiced and it was like, hey, don't do this, I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna
Am
do
I
that.
not hearing correctly? Because I could swear, maybe I'm a dum-dum. Because I'm pretty sure you said like 20 minutes ago, if he had a problem and said you're not going out, you say, I do whatever I want, and you're not listening to him. But now you're saying you
No.
would listen to him. So which is it?
I even explained in that situation, if he said he didn't want me doing it, I'd be like, well, give me the reason you don't want me doing it. If it's gonna
Because
make
I
him
said so.
upset.
Why do you need a
Well, that's
reason?
fucking
I'm
that's
saying it because
outlandish.
I don't
I'm a
want
fucking
because I
grown-ass
said
adult.
so.
Yeah,
So
but I'm a
what
grown
is
ass
it though?
adult.
Like, so this is my point. He has to have a reason that you deem acceptable for him to tell you what to do.
I mean, yeah, because in the relationship, it's a partnership. It's not a you're my parent telling me exactly what
Not a
this
dictatorship.
Yeah,
and
it's like
this
it's not a
is
dictatorship.
also part of the
Yeah.
problem. This is exactly where I wanted to go with this, and I'm glad we landed there naturally, because it was about Dolly's comment, which is like, oh, he's not gonna like do stupid stuff like tell me what to eat or tell me what to wear. Why is that stupid? Let me take a step back.
My ex used to
Why
tell me
is-
what to
hold
wear all
on.
the time.
Why is that stupid?
It fucking sucks. I got demeaned
Why?
and all sorts of shit because he'd be like, oh, I want you to dress hot. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, he'd be like, you're such a slut. So, like, there is a different
So he would
circumstances
tell you
to that
dress
question.
that way and then call you
That's
out.
And
on it?
abusive.
then, and then be calling me like a whore or like, who'd you fuck in the bathroom? You took too long because you're dressed so
Okay,
nice.
I mean that's
I'd be like, you picked
weird.
the outfit out, bro.
I'm talking about guys that are like, yeah, you're not going out in that kind of outfit. That's crazy. That's too revealing. Like, no, like don't talk like that. Don't do this.
That's
don't do that.
controlling. That's
What's
a
wrong with
internal issue with your perception. You're
Why?
What's wrong with that is that we're both
what-
humans. We
we're
both
hu-
have
we're-
brains.
5-year-olds are humans and they have brains, but we tell them what to do.
Right,
No,
but
we
they're
don't.
still
We don't
learning.
run
They're
around.
growing.
Here's
No,
what
no,
I'm-
we
here's
don't
what
even
I'm
tell them what to
getting
do.
Of course we do. Here's what I'm getting at. I'm trying to work backwards. I'm not trying to be combative here. Why do you think a man that you're in a relationship with would be telling you not to do something?
Because he cares about me and he doesn't
Yeah.
want me to get hurt or to do the wrong thing. It
Mine just
comes
says
from
he
a
gets
care.
lonely.
So,
It comes from care,
so,
Mine-
for sure.
so
Mine says
if
he's
that's
lonely.
the case, if guys are doing these things and saying these things because they care about you, they'd go play in traffic or take a bullet for you, why are we giving them the middle finger and telling them we do whatever we want? Like, isn't this the guy of all guys that if anybody has something to say to us and telling us we shouldn't do something or not to do something, he probably has a pretty good reason. And that's the reason is he cares about you more than anybody else does on the planet and doesn't want bad things to potentially happen to you.
Okay,
And
yeah.
does it
When
all,
you
hold
were
on, really
growing
quick,
up-
really quick. Hold on, let me finish my point. And doesn't it also follow that regardless of how old you are or how many years you've lived, you can still make bad judgment calls and make dumb mistakes and get yourself involved in situations that you shouldn't have because you were too blind to see?
Okay.
So if all that
When
is
you were a
true-
child and your parents told you not to do something, did you listen to them every time? Were you like, Yes, Mom, you are correct. I'm not going to do this
It
because you
depended
said
on
not
the
to.
consequence.
Like,
I generally
that's not
would
like
agree.
that's
I
not human
generally would-
nature.
That's true.
I generally would obey my parents.
Wait.
I may not agree
Mhm.
with them, but I would generally obey them, and
Yeah.
I would not do that thing if they told me not to do that thing. And you know what happened? I turned out to be a pretty well-adjusted person. You know, the people that I know that have fucked their fucking lives up beyond belief are people that didn't listen to their parents and did really stupid shit. Now they're in jail or dead. So, like, I think when we have people that are in our lives that have our best interests at heart, and we have a tendency to give into our own egos instead of listening to the people that are checking our blind spots, I think this is how people get really fucked up. And I think this is how bad things happen.
I'm back.
This is what drives me so crazy about this, because it's like, if a man would, let me ask this, raise your hand if you would expect a man that's married to you to die for you. That's part of the equation. Like, if it's you versus him, it's like,
I
if
would
it's me
expect
gonna
it,
die
yeah.
or him,
No,
would
I
you
would
expect?
go out first. I
Yeah.
would go out first. I'm weird like that. I'd rather throw
we-
myself under the bus.
I know. Weird is not
Well,
even
she
the
wears the
weird is
pants
not
in
even the
that.
No,
word
I'd
at this
rather-
point.
I would
There's
jump
gotta
in
be
front of the
another
bus
reason.
to save my girlfriend and my husband. Like I would jump in front of the bus.
Fair enough. And I think this is probably why this line of question doesn't quite work on you. But that being said, what that is a responsibility. You are expecting your man to take the responsibility of sacrificing his life for you.
Because I would do the same for him.
No, you just said you wouldn't. I'm saying there's a
I'm-
bus coming. You said there's a bus coming. One of you is going to die. Who's sacrificing themselves, him or you? He is.
I'll jump in front of that bitch real quick.
Not necessarily.
Well, I'm asking you.
If we're talking about the love of my life, I would have run in front of the bus all day.
Okay, man breaks into the house.
Maybe we could
If
just
he's
Romeo and
hiding
Juliet.
Maybe this
behind
is a
hard for
better
you to
example.
believe, I can
better
tell.
example. Yeah.
A man
Better
breaks into the
example.
house with a gun.
I don't think that
If
it's really
he's
about
hiding
that. I
behind
mean, it's not a
you-
competition. It's not who's going to do
This
what.
isn't
or who
about
I don't think
no,
you can
like,
hear me.
we're not.
It's about who
this
you
is-
are as a person. Who I am
don't-
as a person
Celine,
is,
can
if
you
it was
hear?
my best friend, I would run in front of a bus.
Celine,
let
can you
TC
hear
talk.
anybody talking?
Let
I don't
TC
think
talk.
you
Yeah.
can hear me.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Can you hear TC?
Yeah.
Hello.
Can
Okay,
I
hold
add
on. I'll go
something?
out and come back in.
Oh, for fuck's
I would
sake.
really like to add something really fast,
No,
just
please.
because I think when I spoke earlier
Sorry,
about
that was
how
like a
that was stupid, how telling me how to dress or telling
Come
me
back
to
in.
eat, I'm
Pay
speaking
from the
from
outside. You can't even get in.
a form of
I don't think
of you.
Alexis can hear Dolly either. Hold on.
I can hear. Oh, no, I
okay.
can't.
She,
No,
No,
she's
Dolly,
just
talk.
she was talking that whole time.
I
Get
just
out and come
said
back
I'd
in.
run in front of a bus for my best friend.
Hold on. Oh my gosh. Dolly, go ahead.
This is the
Now I
biggest
can't
shit
hear
show.
anyone.
This is crazy.
I think myself and a couple of the girls are speaking more from a form of extreme where it's like, oh, I'm wearing a blue dress and he makes a snide comment about a blue dress. And it's more of a form of coming from a place of we've been in abusive relationships before where they're taking advantage of like, oh, you're really gonna have another almond? You had 3 almonds earlier type of situations. When it comes
What
from
if
a
3
place,
almonds is too many? What if you're like, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, this is the problem.
well, I'm speaking
Why
from
aren't we
I'm
like,
getting
why
there.
are we
Peter. I'm
selective
getting
with
there.
who we're trusting and
I'm
when?
getting there.
All right, land your plane.
I'm
I
getting
apologize.
there. When it's communicated correctly, it's
There we
going to be
go.
received differently. My
I
husband.
just okay.
personally-
Go ahead.
We got into this last
Go ahead.
week.
Go ahead.
Personally,
I know. Go ahead.
Are you
Always.
really going to wear that tonight? And I flipped out on him and I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Am I going to wear this tonight? This is what I always wear when we go to concerts. I was mad at him all night. We had an awful time. It was not fun. At the end of the concert, he said, I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant I'm meeting people that I've known for most of my life. And I would have wished that you would have dressed a little differently. So their first impression of you wasn't what you usually wear when you were to concerts. If it
So
had
there you
been
go.
a
You're
little
Aw.
yourself in the beginning,
I love him.
I would have received it better. And I think it's communication.
But that didn't
would get
solve
butt
the
naked and
problem,
run
though,
around.
did it? This is the
Hold on,
issue.
hold
Like,
on.
because guess what? No, because here's what happened. Like, because you got so offended about him making a comment about your dress, and maybe this happened, maybe it didn't. If it didn't, then I guess consider yourself lucky. But if it did, you wore the thing that made him uncomfortable around people that he was trying to impress, and you let your ego get in the way. And I'm not trying to be combative here.
He should have communicated better.
Here.
Why couldn't
But
he tell me?
the issue is because, well, I mean, that's up to him. And a lot of that is because women flip out. And because, I mean, do you really think you would have taken it more in stride if he says, hey, I don't want you wearing that because I think that looks slutty and I'm trying to meet important people here tonight and I don't want them to think that you're a hooch.
But he doesn't have to say it that way.
Why would he say
that's crazy? That's crazy. He
Because
doesn't have to say it that way.
No, you know what? He said it another way, and guess what happened? She got mad and still wore it. They had a terrible time. He said it in a different way.
There's
That's
still
the
a
point
middle
that I'm
ground.
trying to
Like
get
you're
to.
all the way left, she's all the way
Hold on.
right.
This is why I say.
I want to call
this
out
is
something
why
I
I
saw
say.
here, though. When we pose the scenario of a guy saying like this is going to happen, whether you like it or not, Celine bit her lip and said like, "Oh, let's go hop in bed." Then we pose this scenario of the guy wording something so carefully to like make sure it comes across without hurting feelings. And Celine went, "Oh, I love him. Like he's a little puppy."
Okay.
Which of those guys is
remember.
actually getting rewarded? One of them is getting in bed and the other one is not.
I think it's how you communicate. That's all. It's how you present the situation. It's how you communicate the situation.
And
you don't
this
have
is
to
the
be a dick.
problem. This is the problem because this is the ultimate issue. And this is, again, and this is great. Like, this is one of my favorite episodes so far because you're all doing great. Nobody's getting offended. And it's a lot of fun. But I think it's very informative and it's very insightful. And I think the things that I'm trying to point out to the audience, not so much you all, but to the audience is what I keep hearing over and over is that I am only going to listen to what the guy who cares about me most and would die for me and would throw himself in front of a bullet train for me. The only way I'm going to listen to what that guy says is if it's something I already agree with and he makes me feel good about it. And that is the issue.
You're right.
Because
is that an issue?
You're right.
Because
yes, it's an issue. I'm going to explain why it's an issue. I'm going to explain
You're
right now. You're
100% right. I'm getting a charger.
Why it's an issue. The reason that's an issue is because the kind of guys generally, especially if you're single and you're watching this and you're a woman, the kind of guys that women generally want that are leaders, that are competent, that are getting things done, that are out chasing things, that have projects to solve, they are not dealing with this. They are the authority in their life. They're the kind of guy that TC was talking about earlier. He was like, your son is fucking soft and we're putting him in combat sports and that's final. That's how those guys operate because the guys that are making these moves and the guys that can handle you or the guys that make enough money or that are competent enough to do this, this is how they are. These guys are too busy doing shit and getting things done and accomplishing things than to sit there every time and explain why he doesn't want you to do a thing or not. It's like,
what about the women?
It's the same thing as dealing with a kid. It's like, I don't have time to explain to you why it's bad for you to take a header off this bridge. Like there's just
pause.
Why would we do that?
It's not a man's
Why
job
would you
to
think we would do
parent
that? Why
his
would you
spouse.
go so severe?
It's to lead, guide, protect, provide. I didn't say parent,
Well,
but a
no,
lot of
I
that
didn't-
has
I
to do
didn't
with.
Jump off the bridge. I didn't say I was going to jump off the bridge. I just said I was going to go out till 6 a.m. and have a good time.
Both of you are still talking.
To the extreme.
Hold on. Alexis, if you can't hear this, you got to refresh again.
I hear you.
Okay. Well, you and Caroline were both talking at the same time. I want to go to her, then go to you, and then go to Dolly. It's okay.
Sorry.
Just want to go to Caroline first.
What I was saying, like, kind of, not that I think that you were saying this, but I think that this is a common problem, like, where it's not a man's responsibility to parent his spouse. If she is not listening, it's not his responsibility to sit there and explain it word for word and vice versa. If you're trying to explain something to somebody, it's not your job to go about it in a parental way. That was their parents' job. And if they're not at a maturity level where they can communicate and have a conversation and also like listen to a boundary, that's something that they need to work on separate. And maybe that's not your partner.
I understand. What I'm saying is I still don't think it matters. I still don't think that the kind of man that women generally want, like this is the socks on the floor next to the hamper issue all over again, right? The only time women give a shit about dirty dishes or dirty underwear on the floor or him throwing the socks next to the hamper instead of in it is if the guy is like a fucking loser. If he's not a guy worth his salt that's out getting things done, if he's asleep on the
100%.
couch, if
Yeah,
she's
I agree
asleep,
with
if
that.
he's asleep on the couch, she's like, this motherfucker's taking a nap and he's can't even throw his socks in the hamper versus like
100%.
he's out crushing it. I'm not going to mess with him about the socks. So if we're in agreement about the socks, why aren't we in agreement with the other stuff? Why can't we just listen? Why can't we just say this dude's crushing it? Whatever he says goes, and we'll all be happy.
Why can't guys listen to us?
About what?
She's got a point. Just in general, you know, why?
Because
why,
isn't the man? Don't you want a man in the relationship that's a leader
I do.
that makes the decisions?
I do.
I'm not saying that
I really do.
I
women
like a
should be
50-50.
seen and not heard.
I like
50-50 can't
50-50.
exist. It can't exist.
It
There's no
can.
such
In
thing as
my
50-50.
fucking world, it can.
You
Maybe
just
not
said that
yours.
you
agree
walk
that it
all over
can't.
him. Your boyfriend's vanilla. Like you said that you do what you want.
No. You said I walk all over him. I said I get to
Oh,
do
I
what
did
I
say
want.
that.
Therefore, he doesn't in an instant not get the respect from me. If he was to be like, hey, don't do this, or I don't feel like I'm comfortable with that, I'd be 100% like, I'm not going to do that because guess what? We fucking communicated
I
that.
guarantee, and he won't be honest about this.
He's disgustingly honest.
Guarantee he won't be honest to me about this. I guarantee that there are things that man gets. There are things that you do that he just doesn't want to fight that battle, or he has before and he's tried and he's lost. There's
2
just
years
no way.
psychology, I can read his body language when it comes to it, and I know. Like,
2
that's
years
why I don't
psychology.
do it.
What?
That's why I like when it comes to communication with him and like his personality and the way that he moves and the way that his looks are and just body movement in general. It's so clear when he's like not happy about something, and I take that under respect where I move differently or I'm like, hey, what can I do differently? But
I still guarantee there's something. I guarantee there's something you do that he doesn't like, that he's just not fighting that battle. Because
it's me going out till 6
in
in the morning.
Right, but you're going to do that anyway because you do what you want.
I've been coming home earlier under respect for him. I came home at midnight last night. So he doesn't go out, and I'm an extrovert person, and I thrive off of just people and personality.
Yeah, I think we got that.
It's a problem.
I think we see where you're coming from on that. I want to go back. So Dolly, you had something too. I want to make sure we got to you on that part.
I just kind of wanted to highlight, you said that last one, you said, I couldn't remember all the other ones, but a man is supposed to provide. I think a lot of a woman's or women's frustrations these days is that we are expected to provide 50%, if not more, financially to households now, on top of doing laundry and keeping the house clean and keeping a man pleasured. And so when I have to provide 50% and a man is not providing that for me, I think it makes women less open to having a man lead in a relationship, because if I have to go to work all day and bust my ass to pay for 50% of the mortgage and you're going to tell me what I'm going to wear, I think that's when women get angry. That's not my situation, but I think that's where a lot of women are getting frustrated right now.
Yeah, but that still comes down to personal choice though, doesn't it? Like you're allowed to tell a guy, I don't want to date you. If he's like, hey, I expect you to contribute 50-50, you just tell the guy no. Like, why get into a relationship with the guy who's not? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why even get into a relationship with him? How do we even get to a point where it's like you have to contribute 50-50 to the household and we're in this relationship? Like, shouldn't that happen super, super early on?
I think it should happen really early on, but I think
no, I'm not going to meet a guy and figure out whether I'm supposed to pay 50% of the freaking electric bill. No.
Well, how long do you think down the line that conversation happens?
I think it takes a while. And I think like as a woman, when you're expressing, I own a home and I've had guys that will like see pictures of my house. They don't come here. I have a son, but they'll see pictures of my house and my pool. And they're like, whoa, yeah, I can't do that. Like, are you crazy? It's just a freaking house. It's just a house and a pool. Like it's the same thing that you would have paid for yours, I'm sure, whatever. They look at it like it's some big freaking deal. Yeah, no, it takes a long time to get there.
Yeah,
guys aren't instantly. You're not on a date.
Female solo home ownership is still pretty rare. right? Like it's not something that just happens. I mean, but it is, right? Like
I owned my first home at 21.
I know, but that's
This
you.
generation's
Most women don't own
actually-
Yeah,
houses.
that's what he's saying is that you're an outlier
like,
in that.
Most
sense.
women don't. So that's why, like, it's like most women don't have more money than men. Like most men still make more money than most women, I would say. Like we know. So it's like when women, now this is changing and this is slowly but surely, but when women are making very well-to-do salaries and they're very well put together financially, or they're very high level on like a corporate totem pole or role, that's an outlier. So that's where men go, oh, like, and generally a lot of women don't either know this or want to admit it, or it's a very tough pill to swallow. Like all that stuff that gets listed, like own house, own car, pay my own shit, do my own stuff, make my own
It makes
money,
you less
got the
desirable.
degrees. They don't care about that shit at all. And to
I
your
think it
point,
makes you less desirable.
it can because the traits that you generally have to exude to reach that level of success are generally seen as more masculine traits, like dominance, competition,
or
all
the
that kind of
ego
stuff.
of a man
Absolutely.
is very little.
What do you mean by that?
By your guys' assumption that it would be masculine for the women to do that instead of feminine.
It is
I feel like-
masculine for that.
Yeah.
All of the
It's
traits
not
that
an
it
assumption.
takes
That
to
is a
succeed,
masculine-
like
We're being
when we
the
talk
male
about
role.
how women and men are different, like inherently, like men generally are less agreeable. Men generally work longer, work harder. They work more menial jobs. They're more, I mean, it's like men have always bared these burdens. It's just part of the masculine experience. It's
Back
like,
in the day,
you
it's
know,
2026.
but we still do. Like they still do. The vast majority of the guys that are running the sewers, plumbing, water,
Hey, my
electricity,
fence
heating,
broke and I
HVAC,
rebuilt that bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Hey,
I YouTube
I'm
how
not
to
saying
change
you
my
wouldn't do that.
freaking
I'm not saying
garbage
that.
disposal, and I did it.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm not
Spencer.
saying
we
you
be-
girls
can we
wouldn't
be
do these
honest
things,
here?
but
Like,
do you
can we
not
be
agree
honest?
that that's a
Can we be honest?
masculine thing to do?
Sure.
Like
I
we
view
know
it
the
as like
vast
I'm
majority
so
of
equal,
these
it's like
jobs.
equality of it. So like it's so different for me to like just be like, oh yeah, the man has to do that because my mom did everything when I was growing up. My biological father was a piece of shit and traveled the world and did crazy shit. So
Seems like this is
I've
a
always seen it as
common
equal.
pattern.
Do you disagree that
I can't hear
it's
Spencer at all,
masculine thing?
but I can hear everybody else.
I'm on the fence of it. I mean, I would agree to the extent of how we've put it in that category, but in my own,
Would you consider it feminine? Like, do you actually think that like fixing the sink is feminine?
no, you're right. I think it was masculine. Yeah, okay, you're right.
There.
You're right. Okay, yeah.
I'd like to add too, I can fix the fuck out of a sink. I built the shower in my entire last house. I gutted it down to the studs. I don't take the trash out and I don't have to do shit now.
I fucking hate the trash. The trash sucks.
Do you think it's interesting or noteworthy that when I'm talking generally or when we're talking about other people, and every time you all come back with an example, it's you and it's your personal experience? I just thought that's interesting because that's very common. We see that a lot. The point that I'm trying to make is that the traits that are generally needed to succeed in high-level corporate environments involved a high degree, because these jobs and these vocations and this amount of money is very rare, which means only a few people can do it, which means there's a high degree of competition and there's a high degree of dominance. It's very cutthroat. And even when we're talking about like blue-collar things like fixing stuff, it's still like 90+% of all oil drillers or like people that work on trash trucks and cops and firefighters and linemen, like these are all still completely dominated by men. Like everything that we enjoy infrastructure wise, construction, running water, electricity, HVAC, all that stuff are institutions that are still held up and built and maintained by men. So it's not crazy to think that those are traditionally male pursuits and traditionally male and masculine or just inherently masculine traits and behaviors. So that's why when guys see women that are like, yeah, she makes a lot of money, she does all these good things, she's super smart, she's got a master's degree, but none of that is like hot to us. It's cool, maybe. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly, I look at it and I'm like, damn, she's probably a pain in the ass. Like she probably is going to try to one up me. She's probably going to try to compete with me. She's probably going to try to act smart.
So then
She's
what
probably
do we
gonna
say?
Ego.
What do we
your
say?
own
We
ego.
pretend we lie?
It's not about an ego.
your
It's
head.
about understanding patterns. No, because women that are like that are like that. I mean, like, that's how it is. Like, those women tend to be like that. There's a reason why, like, there's a reason why stereotypes exist. There's a reason why, like, the corporate career dominant woman is painted in, movies and TV, not often, but enough where it's like having trouble dating, very dominant, very to the point, like very type A. And men generally aren't looking for women that are like that. Because men tend to be the dominant type, especially the ones that you want. I'm not talking about the guys that are sitting home playing video games all day. I'm talking about the guys that are going to work, that are crushing it, that are getting promotions, that are making the money. They got to deal with that stuff all day. They got to deal with people. They got to deal with all that. So that's not the kind of person they're expecting or they want to come home to. They want to come back to the opposite of that, generally speaking. But I don't think it's an ego.
Generally speaking, that means that my scenario like ends up pleasuring themselves until they die.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, I'm making my own self happy until my end of days, because here I am in the position I am. I make a lot of money and I'm in a power position. I'm not going to find a man that's willing to step up and take a role that would benefit the both of us moving forward.
Hey,
I don't think that's true. But go ahead, Spence.
Oh,
never mind.
No,
guess not.
Well, this kind of back to what Dolly was talking about, where like it is true that a much larger percentage of men nowadays aren't interested in being sole providers. Like, they want to go 50-50. And part of this is like what they were sold growing up, right? Like, find a partner. But like, and on the flip side, so like we have the smaller percentage of men that want to be providers. So like they have the optionality with women. So when they have two choices, right? Like when I'm out crushing it, my woman can either be also trying to crush it and close the deal and come home stressed out and we have to hire a housekeeper and a nanny, or she can be at home happy making a lasagna with the children. They're picking the second one. But they're not the first one ever.
Stereotypical.
Oh my God.
Making a lasagna with the children.
I make a great lasagna.
It's not a
still work.
See, women pick this option. If they're given the choice, they generally pick that option.
I don't want to live off somebody else's income. I mean, I want to provide too and feel like I'm giving him something back.
You are.
It's not about me proving myself as a woman.
Why does your contribution need to be financial?
It doesn't.
So what if he said, everything. I don't want you to work. You're staying home and you're raising children and cooking and keeping my house and maintaining my castle because I am the man.
That's so boring. I would be bored to death. Like, I want to use my brain. I was born with a brain, right? And I want to use it. I want to feel like I'm accomplishing things in life.
So I really want to hear what Caroline said.
I know, but I have to land this really quickly. Like I have to just explore this for a second because I hear this a lot and I think I don't know where or why or how we got to this point where all of a sudden being a stay-at-home mom who raises children is somehow seen as boring or it's not contributing something or it's not valuable and it's not worthwhile. And I think that's the point. And I think this is how we get to where we are now, where you have extremely maladjusted kids growing up because like their parents would rather go chase a bag and pay a stranger to raise them than to be at home and actually be nurtured and raised and taught by their own flesh and blood.
I feel like you going from one extreme to another because I am a single parent who is raising a son, and I shifted my hours so that I get up at 4:30 a.m. I go to work and I'm there by 6 a.m. so that I am home by 2:30 p.m. so that when he gets off the bus, I'm here so I can do his homework. I can give him his snack. I can be that parent in everyday life. Like, these are my choices that I make. I could make different choices. You can be both. You don't have to pick one or the other. I'm still fulfilled. Am I tired? Yes. I'm not going to deny that. Would it be
Celine,
great?
I think you're the outlier. I really do. Like, because
I'll sleep
everything
when
you're
I'm dead.
everything you're saying flies in the face of actual research and data that we have, is that women who try to do both, who try to be full-time workers and full-time moms, are terribly, terribly unhappy. They're extremely depressed. They're on all kinds of medication.
I
They
mean,
feel
I'm
more
lonely.
lonely and isolated. There you go. They feel more lonely and
I'm
isolated than normal
lonely.
folks. But at the same time, like, it's not just about that. It's like it's like they're showing up 50-50 in both areas instead of 100% in one area. And I think that's the issue. It's like, I don't think it's realistic that to say, or to even say that a message of women can have it all and be great at everything does anybody any good. Because because I think there's very, very, very few women, maybe you that I'm speaking to right now, that actually applies to. And I think the best thing we can do is we can try to give advice, or we can try to give feedback based on what works for the most part versus what works for like a small percentage or a tiny minuscule percentage. In any case, Caroline, I didn't mean to cut you off, but go right ahead.
It's okay. You kind of ended up touching on what I was gonna say, where I feel like, speaking about this in a more abstract way, society is definitely pushed for more like feminism and more women in the workplace, especially in higher level, like you were saying, corporate situations and positions. And to your point, that requires a certain type of personality, and you can't be passive. You have to be someone who is willing to, step up, speak your mind, push boundaries per se, where, if you look like 60 years ago, it was very different. And I think, are seeing that in society in so many different ways when it comes to children and just where they're at socially. And also, even like you were saying, with men wanting to go 50-50 versus wanting to be a sole provider. And women have kind of, definitely, I think it's very prevalent. Like, women are a lot stronger presence in relationships than what it was years and years and years ago. And I think that it really is a societal thing more than it is like individual people. It's society has changed so much from what you could want to call like the original idea of a family and a home. Things have definitely changed, and it's societal in so many different ways beyond just like, okay, like a straight man and woman household with children. You're talking like in Alexis's situation where she's in an open kind of blended relationship, and there's people that have even
two men, two women,
or like polygyny, as I have learned is a word. So I think that things are just very different now, and the world is a much more open place, and with change comes difficulty. There can be things that are improved upon and things that become more and more difficult. And again, I don't think that this is not like a topic that can, obviously it can be looked at under a microscope as each individual person, each individual relationship. But as a whole, society has had so much pressure to change and like intertwine and even like push away in so many different concepts.
Well, I think the concepts that are getting pushed away the most are the ones that are most important. I think the things that tie us, the things
You're
that
talking
tie
about the traditional values.
I'm talking about things that are naturally inherent within us, the things that men do better than women and the things that women do better than men. And together they're two sides of the same coin. And it's a very strong relationship, and it's great for society. It's brought us to the greatest society, the greatest single society that's ever been built. I don't think there's a better time. You could talk about social this and that, but I think if you look at it objectively, we live in the best time to ever be alive. And the reason that we have gotten here and the reason that we are where we are is because we have generally adopted the traits about masculine and feminine. And we understand that there's no such thing as this blank slate where men and women are the same, and it's all about your environment and your molding. And the further we get away from that, I think the worse we are off in general. Like, that's the entire idea of that. That's the thing that's like my main hill to die on, is that every day we move further and further from our natural male and female prerogatives, especially when it comes to mating, working, everything. And And you can see the results, but a lot of people don't want to talk about it. You can see the rampant antidepressant and SSRI use. You can see the climbing of suicide rates. Like you can actually see that the fact that more people are having less sex than ever before. It's like 1 in 3 men aged, under 30 is a virgin. There's couples that are reporting there's women that are reporting not having sex in the past year, a large percentage of them. And so, if you take away what
they are
biologically, but if you take away what biologically drives us together, like up until very recently, like men and women didn't really have any reason to have anything to do with each other except for families having sex and children. Like no reason. Like that was really it. It's like
talking about cavemen days. Like
no, I'm talking about like 50 years ago.
No,
right? Like yeah. Because I mean, women in the workforce wasn't a thing until very recently. Like having women as a CEO, women voting. I mean, very recent, a very new thing. So
thank God we can.
Some would disagree. I mean,
do you disagree? Are you disagreeing?
I might. That what? That I think women should
have
the right to vote.
I don't believe that.
I want to hear
women should have the right.
I don't believe he disagrees.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Well,
do you disagree that women should have the right to vote?
I think it's an irrelevant point that gets a lot of airwaves. I don't think it matters either way because it's 19th Amendment's not getting repealed anytime soon. I think that politics in general is like super fake and gay and doesn't matter much on the grand scheme of things. But that being said, I think I look at the way that women vote, the kinds of politics they generally choose, and it is the antithesis of generally the things that I think make our country great or the things that make society moving forward. And I think the founding fathers got it right. And there's a reason that they were super exclusionary about the people that could vote. And let's be clear on one thing too. It's not just women that they excluded the right to vote to. Right. So we know exactly what it says. So this is not like I don't even think the voting issue and suffrage is a man versus woman issue, but it is one. Now, at the same time, I think if you put somebody in a position where they can make decisions, and especially decisions on behalf of other people and not get any repercussions for it, that's a negative thing. So, for example, women can vote to send us to war, but they're not the ones that are strapping on helmets and going out there and picking up a rifle and getting on the front lines and manning the 50 cal. They can say, "Hey, we're going to send all these
that we don't want to go to war."
But women have the ability to vote to send other people to go fight their wars, right?
Yeah,
like women are ineligible for the selective service.
Who are we voting to send to war? I haven't voted to send anyone to war.
What I'm trying to say is the option is there for you, and if you choose to do so, there is no recourse on your part. Women are not eligible for the draft and selective service, for example. So if we do go to war, it's me that's got to go. It's not going to be you ever, right? So if there needs to be so it's like, why does one person, one half of the population, get to have the same privileges as I do? They get the same responsibility. This goes back to like listening to the man, right? Responsibility without authority. If that man has a responsibility to you and he has no authority over you, then he's literally just your slave. Then he's just your servant. Then he just does whatever you tell him and he has no authority. Like he's literally a slave. So when you put somebody like when you have the same authority but not the same responsibility, that doesn't equate to me. I don't know how we can reconcile that.
I don't want to have a vote in something that I can't participate in. Okay. So I understand where you're coming from when it comes to that, but women give birth to men. And while we're giving birth to male humans, we are not wishing for them to be sent off to war and to die and to fight. Like it's not as callous as that.
That's not the point that I'm making. That's not the point that I'm making.
What you're making is that we have the right to do the same things that you do, right? And at the end of the day, we should, because our right stems from the empathy of knowing what it means to have a son.
Of men. Women
right.
only
We
get
have
their
empathy
rights
of men.
Right? Like you guys know that, right? Like women don't really inherently have rights. You only have rights because men give them to you. If men decided, if 20% of the men tomorrow or 30% of men decided they wanted to band together and say, hey, guess what, women, you know that whole voting thing? That's done now. Nothing you could do about it. Nothing
agree.
anybody could do about
We
it.
would.
Do
we
you
could not
also
give
think you'd be
pussy.
walking down the street going, damn, that woman's hot in that red fucking robe and her white teepee hat? Like, no.
What do we? I don't know what the reference. What are we
I'm talking about Handmaid's Tale. Like, literally,
talking
you're
about
talking
every
about just
woman's
living in that
fantasy novel.
totalitarian type
Women
of
love that shit.
situation.
What does that have to do with totalitarianism? Like, we wrote the Constitution exactly how it should be written. That was
Because
it was
we weren't
always a
allowed to
republic.
participate.
That's not
Well,
totalitarian.
Fucking right.
So, Celine, let me ask you this. Do you think that a 28-year-old man that works at Target, that lives in his parents' basement and plays World of Warcraft all day, should get to vote to send your son to die in a war?
I
No,
feel like everyone should be able to.
There we
vote.
go. We're getting there.
no,
One step at a time.
I don't. But what you're trying to tell me is, okay, right? So then I should be able to say that women shouldn't get to vote to send men to war because we don't go to war, right? Which,
But we
by the
do.
way, if you're to look at the percentage of women that are in the military now, we're coming up, right? They're coming up. I work for the Navy, so I absolutely know how many women
do you
there
know what
are
the
that are going
percentage
to
is?
war.
Goes
But
sense.
I guess all I'm trying
That's
to
not
say
the
is,
argument I'm making, by the way. But continue. I'm making the argument for the
I know
draft
that
and the
you're not,
selective
but all I'm
service.
trying to say is, right, I'm not a man. I'm not going to go to war tomorrow. I don't have to register when I turn 18, but I gave birth to a boy that is my entire universe. And the idea that we go to war and he has to go because he has a penis and nobody else does, because I gave birth to a boy and not a girl. I have to send him off to potentially die to save the world, because he has a penis, and I should be okay with that. My point is, that is why women should be allowed to vote, because we have that empathetic
Come on.
we do.
All right, so
like
I'll-
you're just looking at it from, okay, because
No.
you turn 18 you're going to go to war.
Even if we talk about that, what percentage of women in general have sons? I'm including like
Who
there are
cares?
women-
At the end of the day, I do, and I'll fight for him every freaking
Right.
day.
So I'll give you this. The only women that can vote are those that have sons. That would fix all of our problems, in my opinion.
Fine.
We'll be good. Like, if you don't have children, you don't get to vote. You pay rent and
You're
you live in
not
an
taking my
apartment, you don't get
baby.
to vote.
He's not doing
And we
it.
end up right back at the founding.
Okay, wait, hold.
End
It
up
says
right back at the founding of the
51% have baby boys. 51%.
How
of
many
women.
women do you think
that's
are in
of
the
women
military?
with children. That is of women
With-
with
What does
children.
that
do
There
with
are
anything?
also lots
It
of
says
women who
How
do
many
not
women
have
do you
children.
think are in the
says-
military?
So
Answer.
17%. 17.7%.
Of what?
Women
In the
military.
military?
17.7% women in the
Not a
military
lot.
currently.
God help us.
not a lot.
My grandfather's retired vet. I pay attention.
But I still
in
don't.
2026,
I don't
how many
grant
women do
this
you
any
think
relevance.
are in the military?
But
It's
why does that
17. It's
matter?
17.7.
But why does that matter? That's not the argument. Like, we're not talking about women who are volunteering to go into the service. Like, Celine, you got this point. You repeated it back to me. I'm not sure why we're still beating on this drum. Like, I know you understand this, but it's like, because you care about your son, like, you get the right to, like, it just doesn't, like, dads don't care about their sons. I just don't think that it just doesn't follow. I mean, again, but here's the whole thing. I don't care. We're never going to repeal the 19th. It's like, you could ask the same question about women being able to incur debt in the 70s. Like, this thing women like to always bring up, oh, women couldn't get credit card. It's like, well, generally women who were married, it was their husband that got credit. Women couldn't incur debt. And then if you look at the demographic of people that accounts for 2/3 of the consumer debt and student loan debt and credit cards, guess who it is? It's women. So it's like,
You're speaking
that doesn't sound
literally
like
about
freedom. It sounds like
the rock
that sounds like
ages.
slavery. No,
I-
it's
I
what,
think-
what rock
I think what
ages?
it sounds like is
70 was 50 years ago.
mentally you have to evolve, right? You're living in today. I know you are. Like, You evolve.
What does that mean?
Things change. What it means is what once
changes
was
about
is
our
no
DNA?
longer, right?
What-
There
no,
is that
what
change. So
exactly?
you have to
What has
adapt.
changed? What has
You have
changed?
to adapt and adjust.
That's not what evolve means. Evolution is a process, an extremely slow process that happens over hundreds of thousands of years.
Agreed.
We have not evolved. This is not something that we can just catch up on. 100 years, 20 years ago, we didn't have cell phones. Now we had to look up stuff in books. Now we have this thing and we can look up any piece of information simultaneously. That has happened within the last 15, 20 years.
Mhm.
Our brains do not naturally adapt. We have a biological underlying subconscious human function. We all do. That care and empathy that you have for your son is a hardwired, natural, innate, biological hardwiring thing to you. Just like all of these other things are to men, just like all these other things are to women. There's nothing like tomorrow, if they were like, hey, ladies, you got to stop loving your sons. You got to start sending them off to war. You know, that extreme, deep bonding tie that you have with your children that would cause you to throw yourself into oncoming traffic. You're just going to have to adapt. You're just going to have to, like, I don't know, things are changed now. You're just going to have to suck it up. Like when I say it like that, you see how it sounds insane, but that's how it sounds to me, where it's like all of these
I can
other
appreciate
things
that.
So, I mean, it's just, we just put the shoe on the other foot. That's the only thing that I'm saying. It has nothing to do, but maybe in another 100,000 years, like we'll evolve.
I definitely like the way you put it because I can understand it. Like you're definitely giving great,
My work here is done.
You still lose, by the way. Women should vote. You're wrong.
We're getting
I
those.
don't care if they
evolving.
What I'm
We're
saying
evolving.
is,
Women
at least
can- men
you're
can
putting
have
it in a
babies.
way that
We're
that
getting
I
there.
can, at least as a smart human, be able to understand. There's more than one way to do things, and I understand that is what you're saying, right? I mean, you're not just being a dick. Like you're speaking like. I mean, maybe a little bit, I wanted to say that sometimes.
Oh, it's
But
okay. I've been called.
let me get my wine.
Oh, she gone. She gone.
Let me get my
Yeah, let me
wine.
get my wine
and then
bottle.
runs off.
She gone. Hey, Caroline, what were
Um,
you gonna say? I feel like you were gonna
yeah,
say something. Your
please.
face looks like
I'm
you
gonna
want to
cut
say
you off.
something.
I mean, that was like 40 minutes ago, so
Well, that's
Like,
on me. That's my
I don't
fault.
know if I even remember at this point. I kind of checked
What about you,
out.
Dolly? Dolly, you got anything?
I don't get political because of my line of work. And
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
that
I don't talk
could-
about politics or money.
I work for the government. Good God, am I to get
Well,
fired?
Just using that as an
Welcome
example.
back.
This kind of goes off the rails a little bit, but I know we're running short on time. I know we're a little bit over. I know that some of you have to go, so I wanna wrap with this. Do any of the ladies on the panel have any questions for? I know you guys kind of asked me mine, but do you have any questions for us? Any specific questions about anything we talked tonight? You know, anything that you want to fire off for us that's on your mind?
I'm good.
I feel pretty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed over here.
Wow, nothing, huh? Nothing
Yeah, are
about what do you think about this?
are
What do you think
any
about
of
that?
you married?
Oh,
Men.
I
I'm
generally
way too
don't
young.
answer questions like that. I don't like to answer
That's
that.
fine. You just told me
Wait,
we could ask questions, so
just
I'm
asked
asking.
I know, but I don't have to
questions.
answer them. You can ask whatever you
Ah.
want.
Oh
you
my
asked us all these
gosh!
questions and you don't want to answer?
You
Yeah, I know,
got
but this
women
is
on the
my
panel.
show.
You're like burying us naked here, and we're just letting it
This is
spew
my
out.
show. I get to do what I want. Remember, I get to do whatever I want. You have to just suck it up.
Okay.
No, the reason I don't is because I don't think it has any bearing on a lot of things. Like I don't. Usually, people ask personal questions, like, and I'm not saying you are, but a lot of time it's like, well, if you're not married, you can't have an opinion on X. Well,
No,
if
no,
you're not
no. I
married,
wasn't
you
saying
can't do
that. I was
But
just.
I understand.
I guess where I was going to evolve
just
in that
never answer that
questioning
question.
was, how
Yeah,
does
go
your wife feel about how your thought process and what it is to be a man
I'll
and,
take
and
this- I'll
direct.
take
That's a
this
better
one.
one for
He's
be in
gotta
TC.
charge.
stand
Yeah,
on
that's a
this.
I'll
better
take
question
this
for
one.
TC.
All of my wives believe women should absolutely
All
not
my
be
wives.
dating. Not legally
High
We,
five
married.
we need
yourself,
to
Mark.
interview them.
High five,
All
TC,
of
high
them.
five.
I had one
Nobody caught this one earlier.
I need to speak to every wife.
Yeah, no one
Okay,
noticed.
TC?
No one noticed
No,
when
they're
I said
good.
it. Nope.
Have them call me.
I have one question before we all go. I think we can all agree about, the man's role and a woman's role, but I think we can also agree, we can almost all agree We can all also see the societal changes that we've had where it makes it very difficult for a man to be a man and a woman to be a woman in today's society in America. What can you suggest for people to kind of get that middle ground where a man could be a man again and a woman could be a woman again?
Oh,
Communication,
so
communication.
I think men need to say
but
no.
I think his opinion of what a man is different, necessarily. than what we're
Everyone's
thinking a man
opinion
is.
should be different. We're all
Yeah.
different people.
Yeah, I think
Men
that's
need
okay.
to say no, and women need to enjoy it. We know
And women
you
need to
enjoy
say
it.
yes, yes, sir.
I'm like, low
Just
key kind
enjoy
of turned
it.
me on, but like, wait, do you want to hear a funny joke?
Let's hear it.
Why did Snoop Dogg need an umbrella?
Why?
Faux
Why?
drizzle.
Is that your answer, TC? Do you have more?
What the fuck, Spencer? You
that's
no
it.
laugh.
So, Spencer, you got something
Drizzle.
on that? You got something on that? Like what we should tell men and women? How to make men great again and make women great again?
Take voting rights away from women immediately.
Fuck yeah.
No,
You
I think
start.
Put
Oh,
women
yeah.
barefoot
Exactly.
back in the kitchen. Make
Oh,
them
yeah.
biscuits.
Sounds
Lasagnas.
good. Big time.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
God.
Caroline. I don't know
I
if I'm
mean,
going in the kitchen
the
making
number one
biscuits.
Men enjoy my money as much as I do.
I thought this was
So
a question
I
for
think it's
Spencer.
good.
Let's go ahead, Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer, go ahead.
I think we've like said a number of times, like called out things where women say like, oh, they realize they do really like this thing, like the guy saying no, and this is going to happen no matter what. And you realize, oh, I like this. But then you
Yeah.
forget to actually like let a man do that. Because the moment he does that, you say like, oh no,
You're not
kill
going to tell me.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me I'm going to kill you. It's like, actually just let him say that. Don't have
Yeah.
that reaction.
Yeah,
Like,
don't force that to only be in bed. Like we know you
Yes.
love it there. Let it become part of your whole life.
And men need to stop doing things like wanting 50-50 in a relationship. Like, dude, of course you're going to end up in a bad relationship if you can't even do your part of it. Like, you can't even provide. You can't be in shape. You're sitting on the couch drinking beers watching the football game. Like, if you can't
video
do this
games.
shit, of course, yeah. If you can't do your part of it, of course you're not going to be in the relationship you want. So
You're not going to be valued the same.
Both
That's for
sides.
sure.
Well, besides removing women's right to vote, here's what I think we should do. Besides that, here's what we should do.
We're going to take that back.
I'm dead.
I would say women, and here's the deal too. I totally don't expect any women to take this advice. So I know this is just like speaking into the universe. It's just fairy dust. But
You're on mute. Can't hear
Women,
you.
anybody else hear me, or is it just Celine?
Yes, I hear you.
Damn, she got you good, bro.
Just Celine. Oh my god, we're gonna cut that out. Celine's been good. Have a good night now. So I think that women need
Celine has to go get her wine.
Women should
Yeah.
learn how to be okay. Women should learn how to be okay leaving men the fuck alone and letting men have their guy time, their men time, their tribe time, and stop trying to get yourself involved in every male space. Like there are no male spaces only anymore. Women are into all kinds of masculine shit that they weren't into 20 years ago, 10 years, 5 years ago. Lifting, bodybuilding, powerlifting, video games, Dungeons and Dragons, all these things that everybody thought growing up was super lame and nerdy. And then women come in and now it's awesome and they ruin it. So there's really no place where men can go anymore without the influence of women. Like men don't have men's only spaces. And it's really important that men do. Men have always had this. It's how they've dealt and how they've coped with the harshness of the world that they have to go out there and face every day. And the burdens that they carry is that they have tribes of men and a brotherhood that they can share experiences with and share hardships with and do the hard shit with. And guess what? Like women's got nothing to do with you. Like just, it's not part of it. You're not built for it. You don't know what it's like. Just stop trying to be our best friends and be everything for us because you can't fulfill that. And you take it personally when you can't, but it's not up to you. It's not because we don't like you. It's because you're just trying to fill a role that you're not built for. For
Mark,
men,
are you speaking for like personal preference right now? Are you like,
Yeah.
No,
I
This is
think
a
I'm
so.
talking about in
This is a
general.
personal. It
That's
sounds
why
like
I
you're
asked.
projecting.
None of this is
You're
personal. No,
projecting.
well,
Okay.
no, I mean part of it is personal, but like in general, men have always. This is how men have always been until
I wish
very
you took guy time.
recently. I do. I have plenty. My entire business is taking guys out on trips and doing these things. Like this is. I don't care. I have my own thing. I think men should find their thing, or I think they should come do my thing. But the point that I'm making is like this is something that men have always had, and it's slowly been eroded, and I think it leads to a lot of problems. The second thing is men, I think, need a mission. Men need a purpose, and men need to stop making their woman their sole purpose or reason for being alive, like their why they do everything. Because like, and I don't even think it should be your family and your kids. Like, I think your man should have his mission that is completely and solely his, that doesn't belong to anybody else but him. Because guess what? Your wife can leave and your kids can be taken from you. And if you are that guy, your mission is your North Star. Your woman doesn't even want to be the center of your universe. She wants to be with a guy that is out crushing it, and she gets to be a
No, she
passenger
wants to
alongside
vote.
him.
She wants to be your equal.
She can vote.
wants
And
to
guess
vote.
what? She'll vote, and she'll be married to him, so she'll vote with him anyway, because that's what married women generally do. So that's what I think would generally make men and women better. Do I think it's really going to happen? I definitely don't think women are going to start butting out of men's spaces. My hope is that men will start getting together and go seeking out men's spaces on their own.
We're never going to hang out with women again.
It's fine with me.
I
No
love
girls
my man. I
allowed.
tell my man, go have a powwow. Go with your boys. Go
Yeah,
have
no girls
fun.
As they
allowed.
should.
Ugh.
We are not getting
See how
any
much
younger,
fun you
like,
guys
kids.
have if there's no
You have-
women.
My God.
I hear
a
guys
lot.
night and I go, fuck
You have
yeah,
no
have
fun. No fun.
Well, like just think about this, right? Think about you're going to go out with your girlfriends and you're going to go shopping, and your man's like, "Oh, I want to come with. Let me come shopping with you." You're like, "Ew, no, stay." What do you mean you want to come shopping with us?
Well, he's
That's like
totally
us
one of
when
the
we-
girls then.
I want to go in the woods with you. I'm like, no.
Oh, my ex
Leave us
did that,
alone.
man. Spent so much money on stupid shit too. And he would try the bras on in Victoria's Secret. It was a fucking hilarious hoot. I had a great old fucking time.
I
He's
definitely don't want to go
bisexual.
shopping with a man, that's for sure.
Yeah, we
Not a
don't want to
man
hang
man.
out with y'all at the shooting range either. So why don't we just
Oh.
do
Hey,
that, like,
I wouldn't want
our
to do
own
that either.
stuff?
We might
We
make
love to
you look bad
shoot.
being better aiming.
Go shoot on your own time. I'm not going to catch
Oh
one in the
my
back of the head
God.
because you don't know which way the gun goes.
Let's
you
have
know, you guys
freaking
have-
wars
No,
then. Game
you
wars.
guys have enough time finding which
Who
hole.
shoots
I don't
better?
know.
I'll get
Dude,
my
I would
female
love
crew.
that.
You get your
I-
male crew.
I
This
would
This is on.
love nothing more. Oh,
And
my
we'll win.
God, I would
We're
love
doing
that.
one
And
meetup
when
this
women
year where
win,
we
what
bring
are you
I know
gonna say
just
then?
the
Celine
place.
and a
I
bunch
know
of other
just the
women, and
place
it's
to go.
gonna be paintball.
Okay, fine. Arrange it. What will you say when we win?
What are we winning?
There's no way that would happen. I don't have to prepare anything. There's just no way.
I snorted.
There's just no way.
Sorry, guys.
There's
I
just
gotta
no way.
sign
I know.
off.
We're gonna
I was
start
born
wrapping
to
up.
win.
Molly, we appreciate it. That's a good segue to the end here. I know we got to wrap up. We're a little bit over the 2-hour mark. This was a lot of fun. Actually, I had a really good time. Ladies, you're all welcome back. Get with Spencer. He handles like our scheduling, guys.
If
If
we
you're
ask
watching,
permission.
true. I don't know. I might not let you. I might see you backstage and say, "Gotta go." You gotta be able to. You must be able to vote to get on my show.
Celine, we will let you back if you get engaged 2 more times, and then we can call you Michael Jordan because you'll have 5 rings.
Yay!
That's terrible. We're gonna wrap it up.
What are you
Terrible.
I'm
talking
working on
about?
We're out of here, guys. We'll see you guys back tomorrow night. Me and TC doing NMD. I didn't do my Monday show tonight. I had some things come up, so I'll do that at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Then we'll be back, excuse me, for Navigating Modern Dating tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel. Show some love, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Helps the algos. If you guys like it, come back next week. But we'll hopefully see you ladies again soon in the future. And it was a lot of fun. We hope to do it again. Thanks, everybody.
We had a blast.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
having
night,
us.
everybody. Thanks for having
Thanks, y'all.
us.
Thanks.